What it do, surprise Shawty crew, and my Daizee love. So I recently said that I was no longer doing anything for the sake of family. I'm only doing things for the sake of the Lord. And when I look back, I've also recently said the same folks who've been cutting up since like 2019, like the same ones he warned me about back then, they're the same ones cutting up now to today. And so I was telling my sister, you know, I'm kind of mad because in 2019, I was ready to cut folks off. Like, ready. Like, oh, no, what is this? But I had family in my ear guilting me like, oh, I need you to just, overlook it. I need you to just, how they are. This is a prime example of how religion will keep you in bed with a narcissist. I don't know if I gave this example in that video, but this is a prime example of that. For the sake of trying to look like a true Christian or a good Christian, because people have probably religiously gaslit them, like when they got to a point of like, I ain't got to deal with this, right? That's what happens. And so in those instances going way back 2019, like, I should have cut them off right then and there, like I wanted to. But I had family members that I love and respect guilting me. No, I need you to just, and then fast forward, whole separate incidents, whole separate family and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this was it. I'm cool, never talking to you again. And you can't do that. It's family. That's family. And here we go, the same thing. And now you wondering why you ain't walking into your blessings into your promised land, because you let religion keep you in bed with narcissists. And God is not about to bless you how you want him to bless you, how he's shown you he's going to bless you with them people around you. And that's just fact. So it's 2025, and I'm telling you, from 2019, I was ready to cut people off. They disgusted me then. They vexed my spirit then. And I was ready to cut them off. Not even because I knew like, oh, I need to cut them off to get a promise. I cut them off because I didn't enjoy them being in my life. I didn't like how they treated me. I didn't like how aggressive they were with me. I didn't like how they even in some instances tried to physically harm me. Why would I choose to keep people like that in my life? I wouldn't. But I let religious narcissism gaslight me. Be forgiving. This. When in actuality, I've always been forgiving. I'm a very forgiving person. The only time people tell me I'm not being forgiving is when I don't want to fool with people moving forward. That don't mean I didn't forgive them. I did forgive them. I don't forget anything, right? And I've accepted this about myself. And so when I say that, like, I don't forget, I have certain people telling me like, well, you need to be forgiven. The Lord says be forgiven. Stop. Because when I say I don't forget, it's not because I'm holding a grudge. It's not because I'm even treating you like you did what you did. Because I don't treat nobody like they did what they did. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't move like that. Never have. But it's always people who want me to ignore their disgusting, toxic behavior, or people who need me to ignore the toxic, disgusting behavior of others who try to flip it like I'm not forgiving. When I am forgiving, I'm just not stupid. So when I say I haven't forgot, it's more so I haven't forgot the card you played, which showed me what was in your heart. I haven't forgot the hand that you have and the cards that you're playing when it comes to me. I haven't forgot. And for me to forget would be to be ignorant, would be to be stupid, would be to be, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, reckless, careless with myself, with my own well-being, with the things and the people that matter to me. For me to sit up here and forget that you ain't already exposed to me what you was about to do, how you finna do it, what you didn't mind doing to me, right? That would be dumb on my part to sit up here and let you stay close to me, be near to me, have access to me. That's stupid. And I'm not trying to call me stupid or call any of y'all stupid, but that is dumb, okay? So don't let anybody do that. Look, the same way I'm sitting here thinking of specific instances and incidents, I know that y'all can too. And you are not a bad Christian, nor are you unforgiving, because you don't want nothing to do with them. They already showed you what their heart was. God already showed you what their heart was. Because if it wasn't truly God showing me back in 2019, allowing that stuff to happen so that I would see what type of spirits was on people, so I would see how they really felt about me. If it wasn't God showing me, why is it 6 years later? Because I am a little turned. Like, why you didn't obey him? Why you wasn't true to you? Why you didn't cut that out a long time ago, Meg? I am a little upset about that. But if it wasn't him showing me in 2019, but it was, why would it still be the same thing 6 years later? Because it was God showing me that years ago. He knew that wasn't going to change. He needed you to see what their heart was towards you. And God thinking like, oh, I'm going to show her and she's going to cut him off. No, God showing me in my right mind, in my spiritual sense. Because I've been thinking about that too. Like, we be saying people don't have common sense. People don't have spiritual sense. In my spiritual sense, I knew, oh, I don't need to be around them. But no, we let people who are not God come in and gaslight us from a religious perspective. You aren't this. You aren't this. God will want you to How you gonna tell me what God would want me to do when this guy showing me how they feel about me? So now I'm like, and I want to cut y'all off too. I don't want to just cut off the narcissistic, toxic ones. I want to cut off the ones that was guilting me back into being in a relationship with these folks. Some of these people should have been out of my life, right? Like, for real. But no, Meg trying to be a good person. You will miss your blessing fooling with religion. Another thing, how my gift works. So I was, discerning, learning discernment, speaking up about it, vocal about certain things, vocal about certain people since 2020. Same folks doing the same mess. Now, this is a family members. This is other arenas. And I'm like, I knew something was off with you when I met you. And I tried to tell them, but they didn't listen. So how is it 5 years later and they still doing that same stuff that they were trying to slither and do in the dark 5 years ago? Them folks ain't changed. That's who they are. That's why God showed me that. This light is immaculate. This is beautiful, right? So we really don't be wrong. I be early. I be super early. But sometimes I don't even feel early because I'm like, if you would assess how they moved in that situation, but people love giving people the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they're young and they growing. Baby, no, they're not. That's why I'm picking up on it. People think that I just be, I be complaining about just human behavior and human nature. No, we all got that. We all gonna do stuff. I'm talking about a literal pattern or insight that the Lord has given me, has shown me. That's how they really operate. So now you dealing with wolves in sheep's clothing. And I knew that in 2020. It's like 2-3 exes ago. I'm complaining about somebody to my narcissistic ex. That person's still cutting up. And a lot of the times, see, this is crazy. I'm just going to enter the clip. It be so funny to me because a narcissist will know somebody else is a narcissist. This one particular person I'm talking about, and I'm not going to tell y'all who it is. I really want to tell y'all who it is because it don't faze me no type of way. But I know they stopped me. Anyways, 2, 3, 4, 5 relationships ago. It don't matter. Every relationship, every instance I've been in the last 5 years, that person was a problem. That person tried to get in the way. That person is a man, and every man I was dating, even the narcissist, knew he was a problem. Narcissists recognize other narcissists. Even if they don't want to, admit or let you know that they're one, they recognize when other people are treating you bad. Half the time it's because they're treating you bad. Even with the instances with women, what bothers me with the 2 family members that I've had to cut off, and it's been problems with them for like years. What bothers me is I will sit there and they will see how other people treat me and say, oh, that ain't right. They not good for you. You need to cut them off. Okay, so what's the case when you do it? Literally, before that girl physically threatened to harm me, right? She should have been done with that day. Okay? But before that, the day before, we were talking about this other experience I've had that people closest to me know that I've experienced it and gone through. And it was, they were just jealous. They were just envious. So when you turned up and acted a plum fool, what was that? Narcissists will recognize that same spirit that they operate in other people. So the toxic men I've dated, they've even told me like, hey, you need to watch him. Right. Because they know. Even they know. So why don't you know? And better yet, why do you know and you ain't did nothing about it? Why are these people still having free access to you, open access to you? Why are they still a part of your life? Why are you still going around them? What is that? And so until you get to that point, and I'll be like, I feel bad when I be turned up. No, you shouldn't be turned up. Just like that post I typed out the other day, right? Sometimes you need to be angry to remember to fight. Hold on one second. So like the post I was typing saying, it should be a level of anger that you experience and you realize like, wait a minute, I'm in a fight. I should be fighting back. Sometimes fighting back is as simple as blocking these people. That's as simple as it has to be. See, that was righteous anger. It's always so funny when I have to stop a video halfway through and then come back and I feel totally different. But what I was saying was still true and accurate. That was righteous anger. I want to add in the end of this video something I've also been thinking about. It's so crazy how when you are in a dysfunctional family or a dysfunctional job or whatever is dysfunctional, people will harp on the fact of, well, it's family. It's family. You need to really forgive them. But they don't mean forgive. They mean tolerate them. You need to really tolerate them because it's family. No. They should be checking their heart and checking how they move and checking how they operate when it comes to me because they're family. And I was thinking about this and then I was interacting with my niece last night and I was like, was you scared I was going to yell at you? And she started laughing. She was like, a little bit. Exactly. As her aunt, she should feel more safe with me, not having to walk on eggshells with me, not in flight or fight, not anxious, not worried about if I'm not going to be able to have a grip on reality or a grip on my emotions or a grip on how I treat her. Do you understand what I'm saying? She deserves that because we are family. She deserves that because I am the older family member. Not she should have to tolerate me because I'm family, because I'm older, even if it's not necessarily family or older, but same in the workplace. Like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to hear none of that. I'm not in the mood to hear none of that. I really don't care anymore at this point of my life. I don't care. Because you are a boss, because you are a leader, that means all the more reasons that you should be behaving correctly. Because you are older, you should be behaving correctly. That shouldn't fall on me because you don't know how to act. So I'm supposed to sit up here and tolerate you. Not doing it anymore. That's gaslighting. That's a lack of accountability. And I'm not a fan of it. Something else I was thinking of when I started making this, but also when I was just saying that, I remember, like, I'm not the type to, I peep stuff, but I'm not going to, like, want to cut you off immediately. It's always going to be a pattern. And I was thinking that I was like that. And I'm really not like that. It'd be years of stuff. It'd be patterns of stuff. And then I'm like, I don't want to deal with you, right? And so I was offended last year because when I got to a place to where I'm like, okay, this is getting old, or the fact that you see the behavior getting worse, right? Like, it may not even be a thing of like, oh, they just keep doing this one thing. It ain't even that. You getting worse. Like, because because you think you just count on the fact that I'm going to tolerate you and I'm not going to say nothing. Your behavior is getting worse. That's why we cannot do that, right? But it would upset me when I would bring something up to somebody's attention and they'd be like, oh, well, they're just going through they're having a bad, leave me alone, because y'all don't know what I'm going through. So if I come up here and I snap on everybody, then what? Because I'm going to lose my job, but they get to come in here and they get to do this and y'all are understanding because they've gone through this. Baby, I'm going through stuff. I've been going through stuff. I think about my life and I think about all the times I was going through like the worst stuff ever. Guess who was turning up? I'm fighting for my life and the devil is kicking me while I'm down through my blood family. They don't care that I'm going through stuff. People that knew I was going through stuff, whether they knew or not, but it was people who knew I was going through stuff and they still felt the need to do the most and mistreat me. No, like, I'm really not in the mood for none of it anymore, y'all. None of it. So, see, that's righteous anger, because I started this off calm and look at where we ended up again. And since we're here, the reason I don't turn up on people is because I am that person who has that spiritual maturity, that emotional maturity. And so that is one of those accountability things. To whom much is given, much is required. So if the Lord gives you that and he gives you that grace to stay calm, to not step out of character, that's how I'm going to continue to move, because I do have that responsibility. But in that same breath, because I know how to control my emotions, because I don't snap on people like that, they think that I'm scared of them, or they don't realize I'm really sparing your delusional self, because I could take it there with you. But God won't let me, because the stuff I say that come out my mouth when I'm turned up, you ain't never going to forget it. And it's going to be all facts. I don't make stuff up. I ain't that type of person. Like, you ever been in an argument with somebody and they're like, oh, well, you ugly, and you know you not ugly, like that's all you had, and they get to lying? I'm not the type of person. You turn me up, everything I say gonna cut deep because it's true. And you're the type of person who can't handle the truth. That's why you behave like that, because if you could handle the truth, you would have a relationship with God. You would be in close standing with God. And you would not move like that. You would be able to hold yourself accountable. You would not be delusional. But these people can't handle the truth. That's why I can't be snapping at the mouth, going crazy, because they're not going to recover from it. And I've known that for years. I've known that, y'all. So they think you weak and scary the whole time you doing them a favor. And it's a lot of people I've been tolerating over the years because I did love other family members. I don't care. If I would cut my own mama off, you need to know that I would cut your mama off. You know what I'm saying? If I would cut my own sister off, you need to know that I would cut your sister off. I would cut you off. It don't matter who it is. And people need to understand that. God says, I hold this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel. And that's why it's really levels to this. You can have this conversation, but I'm not talking on day in, day out, little minor things, little things that humans do, because that's what humans going to do. I'm talking about these extreme cases. I'm talking about these people are possessed. I'll hold this against you. Right, you letting them sit up here and think they rule the bloodline. You sitting up here and feeding the snake that they are. The snake is just getting bigger and bigger. I'm not finna be telling God like, oh, well, I let it happen and I stayed around it because, well, no, I don't love nobody more than I love the Lord. And if he ain't with it, I'm not with it. Another thing, because the Holy Spirit is flowing. When it is your assignment to help somebody get delivered and to teach them and stuff, you're going to know. In these instances, it's clearly not my job because I wouldn't feel like this. I'm not the person that's going to come in and help you. All I can do is be an example and lead you to the person who can ultimately help you, Jesus, but he really might have a human and their assignment is to help you. If you always trying to kill me, you're not my assignment. I'm not your assignment. David did not sit up there in Saul's face like that because Saul was trying to kill him, but David did spare him. Okay, and that's where I feel like I'm at in my life. Like, I've been sparing y'all for years. You gonna have to get out of the way. Now, eventually Saul gets himself out the way, right? And Saul had to deal with all them consequences because of the seeds he sowed. Right, exactly. So that's it, y'all. I could go on and on because I really have been a little turned up inside. I'm a little spiritually violent at the moment. But, you know, this is what happened when the Lord stands you up to cut off the heads of snakes. And that's honestly, I couldn't even end that. It's discernment that allows you to see that. Because it could be some people that's doing some stuff and you know, like, they don't mean that. Like, they're not intentionally wicked. It is people who are willingly like, you know what? Yeah, devil, use me so I can go after them. You have to be able to discern the difference. And sadly, it is people that have your blood that are standing up there volunteering as tribute to take you out, to help take you out. You have to know the difference. That's not everybody, not your assignment. And I remember making them posts about that. Look, I wasn't even trying to do all this. I remember making them posts some summers ago, some birthdays ago. There's a difference between assignment and abuse. And assignment ain't going to feel like abuse because the Lord is going to equip you to deal with whatever they're battling with, right? Abuse ain't that. I'm not supposed to be tolerating you. There's a difference. And when it's an assignment, you don't feel like you're tolerating that person. The Lord allows you to see their heart. He wants you to see their heart. In other instances, baby, there's nothing there. You give solace because you are possessed. I do not have to tolerate that.